All right, so today I am going to attempt to start to do something a little bit different. It is November the 8th, and I actually just got done doing a opening and review video of the heirloom roses that my daughter had surprised me with. One, the hybrid tea Gypsy Soul, and then my mom, she's gonna get 2 climbing roses in the variety Alexander McKenzie and the Blaze. All of them are reds, different shades of reds. And my dog's in the back. Of course, I guess they hear somebody going down the street, but all right. So I don't know if this is the time of year to do this. I don't know. I'm still kind of learning, trying to be a better, more educated gardener, especially with roses. So this is my video on trying or attempting to use rose cuttings that I have to propagate new rose plants. So I have over here, that's a hydrangea cutting that I took about 5-6 months ago for my sister's house. I took like 4 of them, and that's the only one that seems to still be green, even though it's got a little bit of dieback on it. I don't know if it'll survive anymore. I brought it in. But this is the pot that I'm going to be using to try this out. So before we get into actually doing the rose, I guess, stuff, what am I going to be using? Well, I have 2 rose cuttings that are kind of like a bigger stem. These are from the Firefighter rose, and then I have a little bitty one here. This one here, I think, was from an Imperial rose. It does have some, I guess, nodes or buds or whatever they're called, so I'm going to try it on that. And then this one here, the Gypsy Soul that I just got when I was unboxing it and trying to get it out, this broke off. So I'm going to try that also. And I have a disposable glass of water and then root boost. And I cut up a little cup because they say you don't want to dip and pre-dip in that. It makes this bad, so you want to just use some apart. I actually was doing a little bit of rose anatomy, Googling. These were just Googled, so I don't think I would get into any problem talking about them or using them. But I also did try to make my own drawing. But if I do get into any trouble, I can always cut this part out and just go into my special drawing. But just to be a little bit more professional. And again, if you are the artist to these, I was trying to look if there's any problems or anything. It was just a, what was it, a Google search for rose anatomy, rose parts. What do you call it? I searched like the non-copyrighted stuff, open market or whatever. But if I'm wrong, I do apologize. I can edit this video, or if you see this and you're like, hey, that's my stuff, and you want credit, leave it in the comments, let me know. So without further ado, so the parts of the roses that you're going to have to be familiar with, especially when you're trying to do cuttings in that, are as follows. So of course you have the petals. Inside of the rose here, you have something called the anther, and then the filament, the sepal, which are these green looking outer kind of leaf things. You have a stigma, and then you have a style, then you have an ovary, and then you have a hip. So this is more of an in-depth view of if you split a flower in half, you would see these parts. Probably not as good as this great drawing here, but all right. So of course it's doubling the sepal, so you can see this is the peduncle. I do believe that that is basically a secondary stem off of the main stem that holds on to a flower. We have a bracket, which is just a small flower coming off. Let's see, and then we have a flower bud, and then that looks like a bud eye, a hip, and I do believe that this is after the flower is done and dead. Not sure, but this is a leaflet. Now, the cool thing about the leaves on roses, they come in either 3, 5, or 7. Groups of 3, 5, or 7. I did not know that, but now I do, now you do. We have the petole. I did think that's how you say that. It's like off of the leaf, leaf group. Then you have the leaf group. You have these little things here off of a leaf group also, which is called a stipple. Of course, you have the thorn, and then you have the stem. Now, a stem is different than a cane, okay? A cane is off of the main, it's one of the main supports. And then at the bottom, you're going to have the crown, which is right above the soil. And I don't know what this means, bud union. I don't know if that means they're union from a plant to a rootstock. I don't know if own root roses will have a bud union. If somebody knows the answer to that, let me know. Of course, you have a sucker here. You have the anchor roots, which are the roots that keep it in the ground and established, and then you have feeder roots. Okay, so let's look at this one again. Petals. Now this one says bracket. So bracket, does the other one say bracket? Yes, bracket is, see the difference between the pictures. The bracket is a single small one, where in this one it does show a bracket, but it's kind of a different shape. Leaflets, and again in here we have the ovary, the, let's see, does it say, what is this, P-I-S-T-I-L-S? Does this one say pistil? Let's see. This one, I do not see pistillus. So that's why it's good to have different pictures of different anatomy, because this word right here, let me zoom in, P-I-S-T-I-L-S, pistillus, I guess is the tip of something. Stemus, sepals, peduncular. Yeah, some of this stuff is not shown in this one right here. Let's see. For example, we're going to pistillus on that one, pistillus, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep still. Pistillus, I do not see over here. Nope. I do see peduncle and doe. I do see ovary in both, sympal in both, stemet, S-T-A-M-E, S-T-A-M. That one I don't see in the other one. Nope. All right. Again, that's why we like looking at other pictures. So we've got bracket, leaflets. This one, there's another word, AX. AXIUL. Does this one have AXIUL in it? See, it says, I don't see that word either. AXIUL. Maybe that's just a different name of them. Let's see. Now this one actually has a bud. I don't see bud over here. Oh, you know what? I do see it's up here. It's called bud eye. So, stem. And then this is going a little bit more into detail of the leaflet. So in the leaflet, you do have the arnicle. I think that's how they spell it. The stipple. You have peditrule, which is, yes, this here, peditrule. And let's see, the big plant. So bud union, prickle. Oh, that's also called a thorn. So you know what? This might actually be the same kind of thing, but they're different names. Roots, prickle, thorn, flower, stem, and bud. So I'm thinking that this one right here is definitely a little bit more in-depth. It does break down a little bit more. This one right here is just kind of showing you, I guess, a different version of what you can see. So what I'm gonna do is just, if I do need to edit this, I'm gonna go over this real quick. So this is the flower, bud, thorn, hip, stem or stalk, peduncle, leaf in 3, 5, or 7, and then roots. There's a main root and feeder root. So there you go. All right, need another drink. So let's see. All right, so I guess we'll start with this one. So let's see if I can find some of the things that match. All right, so so this is the part of the plant that sorry, I'm looking while I'm trying to read. Okay, so of course we have stems here. All right, what's the part of the stem called that comes off? That's the peduncle. Okay, so I do believe these are peduncles. Steve peduncle. This one, of course, does not have leaves or buds or flowers or hips. We do have thorns. And then these things here, I hear people saying, I think roses might have nodes or something. I don't see nodes in here, but I'm not sure. So I'm wondering what that is. So this is a union, I guess, where it unites. Down here at the bottom, it looks like that there was something trying to come out, but it looks like it died. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of snip that off. And I'm going to actually put that in the water cup so nobody steps on it or it goes on the floor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and I did make a fresh cut on it. I don't want to cut it too far up because it's got these bulbs on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, before I dip it in, well, I dipped it in water, but I'm going to come over here and I'm going to use my handy dandy comb. My handy dandy comb. And I'm going to make a little hole. And dip that in water. And then they say you don't have to coat it too much, but just make sure that you do get enough of it on there too. Now, your reason why you want to make your hole first is because you don't want it to go in and then rub off the root hormone. Okay, so let me see. The next one I'm going to do is, I'm going to try that one. Looks like a little, I don't even think that that one would survive, but hey, you know what? Let's try it. So since that one's little, I'm going to put it over here. Now, a lot of people will say if you try to do roses in a container, it's better to grow them a couple at a time. And those are my future videos of my gladiolas and my lilies. I'll get to that soon. But, so, in this one, we'll snip off the top. And there looks like there's some kind of bud thing right there underneath the leaves. Now, that's cool because you can actually see on this one the leaf parts. So you can see the strumple. The strumple, what else is it called in this one? Axil, A-X-I-L. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make, since these are my sharpened scissors, so it doesn't bend, we're going to snip that off. Put that in water. And growth hormone. This poor thing probably isn't going to do anything, but hey, you know what? We'll see. There's that one. Let's see, next one I'm going to do is I'm going to do a small one. Now, I've seen people who actually have success on growing, and they say like 2-inch ones. So, isn't that a beautiful rose? I mean, in all honesty, it looks just like the picture. You know what? I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut it and then maybe cut it in half so we can see what it looks like. Yep. Okay, so we're going to snip. Oh, come here. Come here, you. Off the top. Now, at the bottom, I had snipped that before, and I don't want to snip it too much more because I don't want to take off any of that. I think they say it's very important to have these leaf things. So I'm going to dip this little piece in here. Hormone. Hey, some people are like, probably like, oh my God, what are you doing? But who knows? Who knows? There we go. All right. So, beautiful rose. Then we'll make one more. No, let's see. 2 more. We'll do one over here. Come on, all these big clumps stay at the top. One over here. And we'll do this one. So, on this one, we'll be able to see a little bit more of the actual rose. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip that over. And I'm going to use this more as a guide. So, on this rose here, this is a firefighter rose. You can see we have the flower. Right now it's in a bud. The petals. We have these things right here that are called the sepal. We have the hip, which is down here. This one here, there is a cluster of 1, 2, 3 leaves. This one is a cluster of 1, 2, 3 leaves coming down. This one has 3, but I do believe it was going to turn into more. Down here we have our first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have our thorns. We have our strumple. I'm going to try to see if I see a bud eye anywhere. Try not to get stuck. Bud eye. I'm looking, I'm sorry, I'm trying to have you look with me. But, nope. Okay, so, I feel like Morticia Adams. All right, now, this one right here is going to be a little bit longer, and we're going to cut straight instead of sideways. So really, really quick. Oop. So that way it's not broken or squished. And we'll leave some of the leaves on and that, so that way it can still get light and whatever. I guess we'll see. Water. What I need to do is I need to get that more. There we go. Water, growth hormone. All right. And then into the ground with you. Where's my hole? There's my hole. Okay. And then one more. Yep, kind of a long video, but you know, I'm taking my time, letting you guys do this with me. All right, so on this one here, this is more of a bud. And again, these are the sipal that are really, really long and wonderful. This one we do have, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leaves, and then it goes up to, well, of course, 1, 2, 3 leaves. So I guess what I have to do, showing you, is clip right across. Gotta get that because I do not want to step on that, and I don't want anybody else to step on that with the thorns. And here we go, cutting off the top. Okay, so, man, that put some nasty thorn. Look at that. Like I said, a fun fact is that they say thorns are usually growing downward. So, all right. So, put growth hormone on that. And we'll come over and get that in here. Now, what's in this pot? This pot is kind of like a loose, in all honesty, I need to do more gardening one-on-one video. It's kind of like a loose soil, but I'm going to water them in, not too much, but I'm going to make sure that, because now, one thing that, I need to get some more water. One thing that I did find out was, because these do not have their own roots, they are not able to, they're not able to, I guess, get nutrients from roots because they have no roots established. So they have to stay moist, not wet, but moist, so they don't dry out until they can establish roots. And that could take, 3 to 5 weeks-ish. So, yeah, we're just kind of seeing what's going to happen. This isn't the first time I've really tried this. Like I said, I've got a hydrangea there. Out of like 4 or 5 cuttings, I only have 1. So it's kind of survived, but now it's winter time, so. All right. And like I said, I've got to do some other videos on how to take care of lilies and gladiolas, hydrangeas, ranunculus, and all that stuff. But before I go, I actually, let me see if there's, I'm going to try to split. Excuse me. I'm trying to keep my camera right here, maybe. And I'm actually going to cut this. Well, let's start with the little one. Cut this rose just in half. And we'll see what it actually looks like inside. Oh my goodness, right, cool. All right, let me pull up a chair. All right, so it's dark. I need to put on my light. My light. Let there be light. All right. Well, that's probably not a lot of light, but come on, how do you focus? Oh, okay. So this actually does, and I'm actually, oh, I have it right there. I'm going to cut. Okay, so this is a picture of the inside of a rose. And I actually just cut this bud in half so you can kind of see, the parts that are inside. So that is actually pretty cool. Let me cut a more established bud. That one was a little bud. I'm going to cut, nope, I actually cut the bud off when it was supposed to be in half, but let's try to do one clean cut. Oh, and this rose just smells so good. Okay, so yeah, so see, this one right here is definitely more developed. You do have a lot more. So I do believe this is the filament and the anther. Right here, these are the center of the flower. And filament and anther there. And then we have the, of course, the symbol here. And then underneath at the very top here, it looks like the stigma. And then down here is the style. This right here where I was just touching, style. And then it looks like the ovary is right here. And then the hip. So the inside of a rose. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull off these so you can see it without the petals. So this yellow is anther, and then the stem of this anther is called a filament. All right, so last one. So we are actually going to cut in half a opened rose bloom. Let me find the stem so I can get to the middle. And I'm trying to keep everything in focus and on the video. All right, so we're gonna cut. We go halfway, and then what's the best way to do this since it's open? Maybe like, there we go. Okay, so with this, let me cut back all this extra. Nope. So with this, you can definitely tell the inside of the flower is a lot looser. All of this is a lot looser than the original bud where it's all tight. So this is a small new bud, and then this is a opened, not completely 100% opened rose, but an open rose where you can see that they are different. So we have me not being down there, but yep. So we have an open rose, a medium open rose, and a small. So basically, new bud, mature bud, open flower. So that's kind of cool to be able to see the insides of them. All right, so rambling, going on. Who's this going to help? Maybe no one, maybe someone. You know, it's just nice to be able to know the anatomy of a flower, especially one that is so beautiful as a rose. When you want to try to get some new growth, especially from the plants that you already have. So I needed to water a little bit more, so I'm just going to go ahead and take this water that I have and just kind of give everybody a little bit more of a drink to keep them moist, because they say that's one of the things that will make your roses, your cuttings fail, is if they aren't kept moist. Because remember, they do not have roots. They don't have roots to get nutrition and water and all that. I do want to keep some of the leaves on them. I mean, I can't keep leaves on that one, you know, because there's no leaves, but so that way they can get some energy from the sun and that. So like I said, today is November the 8th, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that in 3 to 5 weeks these are still alive, or some of them are still alive, or even if one survives, hey, that's still great. But I will do a update on those later. And like I said, definitely trying to better myself, better my gardening, and taking you with me, even though these are so unprofessional and just kind of like homey videos. But like, subscribe, support, and we'll keep growing together. And one day I actually will be able to talk to you a little bit more with a better understanding of not just roses and flowers and vegetables and stuff, bulbs and corns and tubers and everything. This is just kind of a learning experience for me and you, because everybody's got to start from somewhere, and this is where I'm starting. So with that, I am actually going to end this video. I've got to go take care of some doggies. I got kids coming home from school soon, and I've got to go get ready to cook and clean. And that's it. So if you have a comment, please leave it below. And please always remember, I do love positive and constructive comments. Those are wonderful to read and reply to. And if you haven't already, thumbs up, give a like, you know. And with that, I will go ahead again and end this video, because I'm a rambler. And thank you so much for sticking around with me, even though, like I said, the video, I'm trying to record and do stuff by myself. But I appreciate you sticking around, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.